Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Well, we all know that if we use a search engine like Google or a platform like Facebook, we've already opted in to the massive surveillance, the data mining that they're going to do. They take all of our information and they sell it to the highest bidder. But as of Tuesday, lawmakers have voted to now overturn some privacy rules that have protected us from our internet service providers being able to take all of the information that we search on all platforms. And in fact, very soon, our smart homes, they will be able to mine our information and sell it to the highest bidder without needing to ask our permission. They have been kind of barred from that in the past. Now I'm joined now by Michael Zimmerman. Zimmerman, you're normally behind the camera, but you look so good in front of the camera. We had to get you out here. You're kind of our tech millennial. Break this down. So what is happening with SJ Res 34? What is it and why is it so significant?
So they've put forward SJ Res 34, and it's already passed the House and the Senate, and it's now on President Trump's desk. And what this is basically going to do is overturn something they passed under the Obama administration with the FCC that they called the Protecting the Privacy of Customers of Broadband and Other Telecommunications Services. And in this probably too large piece of regulation, as they often do, they basically put forward things saying that if telecom providers were going to collect data on consumers or do anything that broke their confidentiality or privacy, they would have to notify them or get their consent.
Right.
So they're overturning that.
Right. Because they want a piece of the action. They're saying, look, Google and Facebook, they don't have to ask the permission. They don't have to ask permission, and they're making all this money. We want in too because we have access to even greater information. Because if you don't use Google, well, then they're not going to be tracking you. But if you're just logging on to the internet, well, your internet service provider has access to every single thing that you are doing. And there was a Democratic rep that actually kind of joked, well, we need to start deleting our browsing history about once an hour. But I'm afraid it doesn't work like that.
Right. Your browser history is just what's saved on your computer locally. So if you delete that from your computer, sure, someone on your computer can't find what you're looking at. But your internet service provider, your ISP, logs everything. Every website you go to, they're even saying your app usage. So what applications you're using on your cell phone or other devices, they're going to be collecting data on all of that, and they will be able to put together these profiles. And so that profile might say, this is a woman who's 65 years old, who has 3 cats, who's interested in this politically, she's of this religion, and they're able to sell that off for advertising purposes now.
Right. And before they would have to ask for your permission. And I'm also curious how this is going to affect, I know there was when the Snowden leaks first came out, a lot of people were first giving the hint that the government was asking them for your personal data, and then they would say, well, no, we require a warrant. Well, now your internet service provider is not required to ask your permission to collect all this information on you. So I'm curious if that's going to be something that's going to also sidestep some of our civil liberties as well, with sharing that information with government agencies, et cetera.
Absolutely. And we know from, like you said, Snowden with the NSA leaks and Vault 7 recently with WikiLeaks, both of those government agencies are collecting massive amounts of data on Americans, and their hacking capabilities and spying capabilities are well beyond what is protected by our Fourth Amendment rights. They're spying on mass numbers of people. Absolutely.
And Judge Andrew Napolitano, when he was brought back to Fox News after his little hiatus they put him on because he dared to say that Trump was indeed surveilled, the one main point that he really wanted to stress was that Americans need to be paying attention to this more than ever. We don't need to be pushing this to the side and saying, oh, it's normal that Trump was incidentally surveilled. Because in October, a lot of these laws are going to be up kind of for a rewrite or maybe an extension, or do we need to do away with that? And so we need to be talking about this and how much surveillance is too much, how much of our information and who gets to profit off of our private data. And why don't we get a kickback from that? I'm not sure who put this solution out there, but a lot of people are calling for this universal basic income. And one way that they could do that is by all of these people who are profiting off of our biometric data and all of our personal information has to have sort of an account where we're getting a little bit of a payment if you're profiting off, but we don't. At this point, we get absolutely nothing except for our freedoms taken from us.
Well, with Facebook and all these other platforms that are free to use, you are the product. If it's not costing you anything to use it, you're not paying for a membership, they're making money off of you somehow. So Facebook is selling advertising, Google's selling advertising, and both of those are using very targeted advertising, but it's within their platforms. Google, if you visit sites that are running Google ads, you'll notice the ads for things you're interested in pop up. If you listen to a certain type of music, maybe an ad for that artist will be on one of the websites you visit.
Or
but
you pointed out with
this is
Stella
internet-wide.
Artois.
Absolutely, yeah. There's an article, Stella Artois, the beer. They were using location history that they purchased to determine whether someone was likely to stop at a bar soon, and to target them and say, "Hey, when you're at this specific bar,
Because
you should buy our
like
beer.
this bar a lot and you go there frequently, get our beer next time you go there.
Pick up one of ours next time you go."
That's just one little creepy way that they're using the location history that they're buying from search engines or now from your internet service provider who has access to everything. They want to target their ads to you all the time in every situation. Well, it's interesting because we have a few people fighting back after Congress voted to block these internet privacy protections. There are 2 fundraising campaigns. They're saying, "Hey, great, thanks. Well, you know what? We would like to buy the browsing history of all of the lawmakers who voted to take away our internet privacy protections." So I think that's really incredible. They've raised more than 215,000, probably much more today.
I think they're over 500,000 now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because
Hey guys,
this
do
is
you
great.
realize that Stella Artois is one of the largest beer importer-exporters in the world?
I did not realize that.
Yes, they keep buying up companies, and that's why they want your information, because you're a gold mine.
Wow. And it's just something as innocent as a beer, the beer that you drink. I mean, at least if you're going to do it, give me a freaking coupon
Just
for it.
imagine 5 years from now, if stuff like this goes through and they create more and more targeted profiles on people.
Exactly.
What everything is going to look like, everything in our daily lives is going to be targeted specifically around our preferences.
Well, we were just talking, if you're listening to Pandora at your house and then you're starting to get targeted ads on the commercials that play based on something you search, what if you're a little embarrassed about it or something with your medical history or something, and then it starts targeting you with these ads, and then your friends in the room are getting access to things you might not want to be targeted with advertising.
I'm glad you brought up medical history, because that is another big risk, a privacy risk with this. Insurance companies could very potentially buy, if someone searched for, stop smoking aids or something of that nature, they could figure out, oh, this person's a smoker, this person's unhealthy. And if you're searching for those kinds of things, your rates might go up. Right. Because those massive corporations are always looking for new ways
to save a penny.
Exactly.
A half a penny. So just in the last couple minutes that we have left, how can people protect themselves? Obviously, deleting your browser history every hour isn't going to do it. What are some ways you can protect yourself? And of course, I know you also mentioned it's going to be like a states' rights issue at this point.
Right. So the Minnesota Senate actually voted to pass internet privacy protections in response to this bill. So another thing is you could send tweets, things like that, to the president. It's not been enacted into law yet. It's on his desk, and they have come out and said on whitehouse.gov that his advisors are recommending that he pass it. But you can take things into your own hands. You can use private internet access, a VPN, or there's plenty of other VPN services out there. But they've been kind of at the forefront with this issue, encouraging people to protect their browsing. So that basically puts all your traffic, instead of going from your home's IP address, it makes it look like you're in Dallas or Chicago or some other city. Mm-hmm. So it's much more difficult for them to trace and build profiles on people.
Right, because they can't target you with the bar if it's in a totally different city. And some people say, well, I like to have targeted advertising. I don't want random ads. But as you've pointed out, it's not just getting good advertisements from a product that you like. It's also your medical history could be used by your insurance company to up your rates. Very good point there. So I guess we'll have more on this issue. Of course, it is sitting on the president's desk waiting to be signed. Any closing comments on this?
People need to care about their privacy. You need to, take a vested interest in, securing your information. Look at what you're putting out there online. And if that's something that's important to you, there's steps you can take to protect your data.
Thank you so much, Michael Zimmerman. And thank you all so much for tuning in to the show tonight. We had some very important news here today. So I hope you share this link with all of your friends and family. Be sure to let everyone know about Infowars. Support this broadcast. They're trying to shut us down at every turn, and we cannot let that happen. We need our Info Warrior army out there to help us out. We'll see you guys here Monday, 7 p.m. Central.
Alex Jones here with a very important news update to anybody out there that wants to be prepared. But it goes beyond being prepared. Our bodies absolutely must have the good halogen iodine or we will die. And you look at all of the thyroid problems and all the people that don't have energy and that have all sorts of hormone problems. And from my research and a lot of just mainline research, it leads back to iodine over and over and over again. It's as important as vitamin C. If you don't get iodine, you die. But most people are just deficient, so they're low energy, they're sick. You got to have iodine in your body so that your body can produce the hormones you need. It is the base to so many things. And since I got into iodine 4 years ago, we've helped change the entire paradigm by developing and bringing to the public deep earth crystals from 7 to 12,000 feet of the purest iodine available. Other iodine comes from the ocean or from other byproducts of chemical facilities and is tainted. It's bound. It's not absorbable. I tried it. And I had incredible effects even with dirty iodine because the body needs it. When you don't have iodine, it absorbs the chlorine, the fluoride, and all these other bad halogens. Do yourself and your family a favor and check out the importance of iodine for yourself. I think you're going to be blown away. And whatever you do, support the broadcast and get a bottle of Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. Also consult your physician because if you've been deficient in it or have other issues, it can have some dramatic effects. As for me and most folks I talk to, it's been a game changer in the positive column, but still consult your physician because iodine is no joke. It's a key building block of the body. And if you haven't had it for a long time and suddenly have it, some folks say they've experienced things like a detoxing effect and things like that. You've got to have vitamin C. You've got to have iodine to live. You got to have water to live. Iodine is key. You must have it, but consult your physician first before you get powerful Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2 at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll free. We can answer your questions, 888-253-3139.